My spoiled and entitled younger sister slept with my older sister's boyfriend, so we gave her a brutal reality check and slowly ruined her life. After my older sister Maya cut off Sally after Sally slept with her boyfriend, there was a lot of tension in the whole family. Of course, Sally, the golden child, was shameless and went on to date Maya's ex. Maya found it extremely hard at the beginning, and she called me daily for months on end just to vent and talk about it. We were extremely close through this time period, and we helped each other a lot. Eventually, she got over it, met a really nice guy who understood her past trauma and treated her like a princess. They got married, and I was actually the maid of honor at their wedding. She even invited our parents to the wedding despite the fact they enabled what Sally did years prior. My parents didn't attend, however. A few more years went by, and eventually our parents reached out to Maya begging to reconcile with her, and this is where the crap storm started. Maya agreed to reconcile and came to dinner along with her husband Adam. Sally was also there with her husband, Maya's ex. Throughout the evening, I noticed Sally tried to be closer to Adam and hit on him, but he would just shove her off. When it was time for dinner, my parents made a toast. Then out of nowhere, Sally stood up and said that she was so lucky to be here and that she almost died when she was young. She then redirected to Maya and said, "Sis, I know it must be hard for you because your ex is now my husband, but thanks for your blessing. I know it must be hard for you to be here, knowing how hard it was for you to compete with me, but I applaud your bravery." This was the moment where Sally got the biggest reality check of her life. Maya's husband, Adam, an ex-Marine, stood up and shouted at Sally, saying how dare she insult his wife, and that's when he proceeded to rip Sally a new one. He went on to shout at her,
"You think you are so special because you were a miracle baby. Guess what? I was a miracle baby too, but I don't go on about it like you do. You are such a pathetic woman that the only achievement in your life you have is something that was accidental. What else do you have to show for? Everything you have was basically borrowed from my wife, even your pathetic husband who spent the entire evening hitting on every female cousin in this room. You are so annoying, even your husband doesn't like you. You know what the truth is? You have nothing and you are nothing. You are so shameless and pathetic that you tried to hit on me. You already got her ex, and now you want her husband. I would rather die than be with a woman like you whose personality is worth a paper bag. You have always been jealous of my wife because you always knew you would never be as amazing as she is. That's why you stole from her, because that's the only way you could have what she has. Nobody likes you and nobody loves you. How does it feel to know you're gonna die alone? Is it nice? Do you sleep well at night knowing there is not a single person in the world who would take a bullet for you? Nobody effing cares about you."
Sally was in tears by the end. My parents and relatives were shocked. My parents told Maya, "Well, aren't you going to do anything?" Maya said no and left with her husband. Honestly, even my cousins were silent. I knew no one liked Sally. I, on the other hand, was laughing behind my wine glass. To say that a huge fallout occurred right there and then would be an understatement. My parents both went irate. My mom a little more so than my dad. She was pacing around the house, crying and hugging Sally as much as she could, all while muttering how much she hated Adam for what he just did. Sally's husband actually stayed away from her, trying to make conversation with me of all people, once again prefacing how much of a vermin he really was. A few days later, I went to see Maya and her husband. I talked to her and asked her if she was okay. She said she was fine and that mom and dad has been demanding they apologize to Sally. According to them, everything that Adam said was extremely hurtful and has totally crushed Sally's self-esteem and has even given her unaliving herself ideation. According to them, Sally said she will go through with taking her life unless Maya and Adam agree to apologize to her, and get this, pay her and her husband for the emotional trauma that this whole thing has caused them. Maya apparently laughed her ass off before blocking them, because why should they apologize for the truth, and much less pay Sally a dime? I of anything. Sally should be reimbursing everyone for the years of emotional trauma she has caused us. Maya and Adam also got support from the family. A lot of our cousins' parents were unaware of the incident of Sally and all the bullying. They thought since she was a miracle baby she would be an angel. I apologized to Adam for what happened. He said sorry back because he lost it. He also had really toxic parents. He basically projected his own anger on Sally. I told him it was fine and even our cousins enjoyed it. They are making fun of Sally and he is practically their hero right now. And as for my parents, well, they were still in denial.